You just checked your phone, maybe 30 seconds ago, maybe 2 minutes, maybe you picked it up before you even finished reading that sentence. And here is what makes that strange. You probably didn't decide to do it. Your hand moved, your thumb unlocked the screen, your eyes scanned for something, a notification, a message, a number, and then you put it down. Or you didn't. Either way, you weren't really in control of that moment. Something else was. Understanding what that something is will change the way you see every screen in your life. This isn't a story about addiction. It isn't a lecture about willpower or screen time or putting your phone in another room. It's a story about a system inside your brain that is 300 million years old, running in a world that is about 15 years old and doing exactly what it was built to do, in a context it was never designed for. Start with the dopamine system. You've heard of dopamine. You probably think of it as the pleasure chemical, the thing that fires when something good happens. Chocolate, sex, a promotion, a compliment. That's partially true, but it's also deeply misleading, and the misunderstanding is exactly what the people who designed your phone are counting on. Dopamine is not primarily a pleasure chemical. It is a prediction and reward signal. Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz spent decades studying dopamine neurons in primates. What he found transformed our understanding of motivation. When a monkey received an unexpected reward, a squirt of juice with no prior warning, its dopamine neurons fired intensely. But over time, once the monkey learned that a specific cue predicted the juice, something remarkable happened. The dopamine neurons stopped firing at the reward. They started firing at the cue. The anticipation replaced the reward. And here's the part that changes everything. When the expected reward didn't arrive, when the cue appeared and the juice didn't come, dopamine neurons didn't just stay quiet, they dipped below baseline. They created a signal of absence, a kind of neurological craving, a pull toward resolving the uncertainty. Your phone is a cue machine. Every notification sound, every buzz, every little red number on an icon is a cue telling your ancient dopamine system that a reward might be coming. Not that a reward is coming, that it might be. And that uncertainty, that maybe, is neurologically more powerful than a guaranteed reward would be. This is called variable ratio reinforcement, and it is the most powerful behavior shaping mechanism ever discovered. B.F. Skinner identified it in the 1950s, when he gave pigeons a lever that dispensed food on a fixed schedule. Press 10 times, get a pellet. They pressed it steadily and stopped when they had enough. But when he made the schedule unpredictable, sometimes one press, sometimes 50, sometimes nothing, the pigeons pressed obsessively. They couldn't stop, because stopping felt like the moment just before the reward arrived. Slot machines were designed on this exact principle. So was your Instagram feed. So was your email inbox. So was every social platform you use. The feed never ends. The likes arrive unpredictably. The message might be there, or it might not. The comment might be kind, or cruel, or nothing at all. You don't know until you check. And not knowing is exactly the state that keeps the dopamine system reaching. But there's something even older than dopamine at work here. Your brain contains a threat detection system that predates mammals. It's sometimes called the reticular activating system, sometimes the salience network, and it does one thing with extraordinary efficiency. It flags what is new, what is different, what has changed in your environment, and it demands your attention. This system kept your ancestors alive. On the African savannah, anything that moved in the peripheral vision, any sound that broke the pattern, any change in the environment was potentially a predator, a rival, or a resource. Ignoring novelty could get you killed. The brain that survived was the brain that could not ignore a change in its environment. Your phone delivers novelty at a rate that no environment in human history has ever produced. Every time you open a social feed, the content has changed. Every time you check your messages, something new may have arrived. Every time you look at the news, the world has shifted. The salience network, the ancient threat detector, registers all of this as meaningful change and demands you look. It cannot distinguish between a predator in the grass and a trending topic. Both are new, both are flagged, both feel urgent. This is why you check your phone first thing in the morning before you said a word to another human being. It isn't weakness. It's a 300 million year old surveillance system doing its job in an environment that has hacked it completely. Now layer on top of this the social brain. Humans are the most social species on the planet. Our survival survival for hundreds of thousands of years depended not on claws or speed or strength, but on group membership. Being included in the group meant access to food, protection, mating, and survival. Being excluded from the group, even temporarily, triggered a threat response in the brain that neuroscientists have shown activates the same neural pathways as physical pain. Social rejection in the evolved brain is not a metaphor for pain, it is pain. And social media has created a quantified, visible, real-time scoreboard of your social status. The number of likes on your post, the number of followers you have, whether someone viewed your story and didn't respond, whether your message has been read and not replied to. These numbers don't just tell you information, they speak directly to the part of your brain that is tracking group membership and safety. A post with no likes triggers a mild version of the same threat signal as social exclusion. A post with many likes triggers a reward response. And because the numbers change unpredictably, because you don't know whether to check in 5 minutes or 5 hours, the dopamine system keeps pulling you back to find out. You are not checking your phone to see your messages. You are checking your phone to find out if you are safe. Now consider what this does to your attention. The average person checks their phone 96 times per day, according to research published by Assyrian. That is once every 10 minutes during waking hours. Each check creates what psychologists call an attentional residue, a fragment of the previous context that lingers in working memory even after you've put the phone down. A study by Gloria Mark at the University of California, Irvin found that after an interruption, it takes an average of 23 minutes to return to the original task at full cognitive depth. 23 minutes. If you check your phone every 10 minutes, you are never fully in the task you are in. You are always operating in a kind of cognitive fog, a shallow layer of attention spread thinly across everything, going deep into nothing. This is not an accident. The attention economy is a $500 billion industry built on a single resource: the number of seconds your eyes spend on a screen. Every second you are on a platform, that platform is generating revenue. Every second you are not on a platform, that platform is losing ground to a competitor. The people who build these systems are not indifferent to your well-being. Some of them are deeply conflicted about it, but the incentive structure of the industry is not compatible with your cognitive depth, your sleep, your relationships, or your sense of self. The product is not the app. The product is you. Specifically, it is your attention, packaged and sold to advertisers in increments of seconds. Tristan Harris, a former design ethicist at Google, described it this way: 1,000 engineers are working on the other side of your phone with access to more data about your psychology than any researcher in history, optimizing every pixel, every sound, every notification interval to capture and hold your attention as long as possible. You are not scrolling, you are being scrolled. And here's the part that most conversations about phone addiction skip. The problem is not that you are weak or undisciplined or addicted in the clinical sense. The problem is that you are using a system designed to resist disengagement while being told that disengaging is simply a matter of willpower. That is like being told that staying dry is simply a matter of willpower while someone aims a fire hose at your face. The people who built these systems do not let their own children use them unsupervised. Steve Jobs did not give his children iPhones. The architects of the attention economy send their children to schools that ban screens. They know what the product does. They know because they designed it to do it. So what do you do with this? Not a lecture, not a list of tips, but an honest account of what is actually happening when you reach for your phone. Your dopamine system is responding to unpredictable reward cues exactly as it was designed to do. Your salience network is flagging novelty as potentially meaningful exactly as it was designed to do. Your social brain is monitoring group membership signals exactly as it was designed to do. None of these are failures. None of them are weaknesses. They are ancient, elegant, extraordinarily effective systems doing their jobs in an environment that has been precisely engineered to exploit them. Knowing this doesn't make you immune, but it changes the nature of the moment. The next time your hand moves toward your phone without a decision behind it, you can notice that. You can recognize that the pull you are feeling is 300 million years old, that it evolved to keep you alive on a savannah, and that it is currently being used to sell you running shoes. That moment of recognition is not nothing. It is the beginning of the only thing that actually works. Not willpower, not restriction, not digital detox, but understanding what is actually happening inside you and choosing, sometimes, to do something else with that ancient, restless, magnificent brain of yours. The phone will still be there. It will always be there. The question is whether you will be there too.